everybody. Welcome back to KF&JF Podcast. It's been another week of successful videos out there, and we're so grateful and thankful that you guys have been out there looking at them and subscribing. We can't thank you guys enough for all the blessings that you guys have given this show. So we thank you so much for that. But today we have somebody on our show today that I'm excited to introduce to you guys because she is a star. You guys probably already think she's going to be a star. As soon as you see that face, she knows everything about her industry and what she's doing, and she's going to bring that knowledge to you guys. But you guys know how this show runs. You know how we have to introduce everybody. But here's that co-host that keeps running the show. Here he is.
Greetings. My name is Razak. I am the CEO and founder of United Minority Business Ventures. My purpose is to help small businesses grow. This means I will assist with the creative process and maintenance of your business. The method to achieve results is simply building a deeper relationship with your customers. I do this by forming opportunities to communicate and collaborate with your followers, subscribers, and other business owners. By using a wide range of networking tools, we will have an understanding for building your business profile, what type of social media marketing fits your productivity and your availability, and building your financial profile, branding your services, product, or merchandise. Together, we may also determine what type of license is needed to operate your business. And does your budget permit the ownership of your own domain or buying into pre existing sites that host your page? I like to drive traffic by managing your website. This allows me to work with you to select posts that create subscriptions, comments, and likes. I also assist by generating comments on other individual business sites or a page that create a dialogue of conversation directed towards your page. I also assist with the creation of the content on your media site. This will be a collaboration of ideas which will reflect on your brand, your work ethics, and the community's need to know what you have to offer them to bring a better quality of comfort to their lives and lifestyle. I can also assist with the writing of content, directing your videos, the editing process, and publishing them on various sites for marketing purposes, advertising, and promotional value.
Yes, thank you guys. Every time, we listen to Razak tell us his story about what he does for different businesses and people out there, we really, you know, need to tell him just thank you for all of the work that he does to help other businesses succeed in trying to get to the places they need to get with their business. And you know how I say, enough of the formalities. We're here right now to talk with this lady who is a star. So let's get her up on the screen to have her introduce herself.
Hello, my name is AaLYSSA Sepulveda. I am the owner of Amor Bakery. Amor Bakery is a home-based bakery located in Winchester, California. I specialize in cakes, cookies, custom cookies which are cookie stuffed croissants, cake pops, and scones. I do various markets around the area, and I do many videos, a whole bunch of content on my social media platforms. And yeah, my goal for my business is just to make people happy through my desserts because desserts bring people together. Yeah.
Well, I think you're doing a really good job of smiling and making people happy. I can't wait for them to see you on the other side of this conversation. But I'm sure you're able to do that. Let me ask you a question right now. We're going to get into this bakery world. And what's unique about yourself? What are some of the things about you that is unique and that you find not many people really know about
Ooh, that is a very interesting and tough question. I feel like I people don't know that I'm like pretty like artistic, I guess I would say. Other than like my baking, I dance, I paint, I cook. I do a lot more than just baking, which I don't necessarily share as often as I probably should. But yeah, I'd say that. And then I guess when it comes to like the whole baking aspect, I guess it would be more that when you have like a dessert from most places, I feel like in my experience, it's been like just overly sweet or super dry, and it just does not satisfy my taste buds. So I made my business in hopes of honestly, I guess satisfying my taste buds really. And I know that like what I put out there is like the best product. And I feel as though I wanna share that with others so they could see that not every sweet has to be super duper sweet, and it doesn't have to be dry. It's actually really good. You have to give it a chance.
Wow, wow. Talk a little bit about your background, something, how did you come about this business? And then again, how did you come about the name? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, of course. So I've always been interested in baking, but growing up, I was a military child. I was all over the place. I moved everywhere. And I mean, for me, like I said, I was an artistic person, so I spent most of my time dancing, and I'd bake on the side for like my friends and my family. And I've always known that I wanted to like own my own bakery, but because it is in the art field, it is a little bit more difficult. But I knew that for me, I could deal with the challenge. And the name Con Amor, so I am Puerto Rican and Portuguese as well as Black. I am mixed. I always loved that name, and I'd go to bed in like high school and just dream about having my own bakery. And honestly, Con Amor just popped in my head, and I was like, oh, this is like the perfect name for a bakery, because if you all don't know, Con Amor means with love, and I believe everything I make is made with love.
Okay.
I'll be
Mhm.
darned. Well, if a cake is made with love, then it's definitely ain't dry. It's definitely not dry. Talk a little bit about the cooking aspect and the dancing. What type of dance? What did you do with it? The music and stuff like that. What got you into that as well?
Yeah, growing up, my dad, he loves music. He's always played music in the house, and I've always just like enjoyed moving around. And my parents put me in some like after school programs, and they'd have like little dance lessons, and I just fell in love with it. And then when I moved to California, I like begged them for me to go to a dance company, which is Temecula Dance Company. It's not too far. And I was there for a good 4 years, and I'd go up to LA and Orange County and take some professional dance classes so I can expand my horizons. But I'd say the dance style I would normally focus on is hip hop, but I do have experience in like jazz, a little bit in contemporary. It's not really my style, but I like hip hop. I do love like the Afro dance hall. Just like more flowy dancing. And as for cooking, I've always loved cooking. It's just been something that's like been instilled in me from my dad as well. He always cooks in the house, and when I was younger, I would just like whenever they're sleeping, like in the morning, I'd like come downstairs and like make eggs and burn it. But that's how you learn. And yeah, I just continued from there. I ended up going to culinary school out of high school too, as well. And that expanded my horizons when it comes to culinary, because I wasn't very well versed. I was more focused on like the baking aspect. But yeah, yeah.
Wow, I like the fact that you mentioned your dad and some of the things that got you used to the smell of cooking and the
Mhm.
dancing and all different things. Talk a little bit about your family dynamic as far as praise them or how they work with you in the business or how they support you and what you're doing. Talk a little bit about that and give them praise as to what you feel that they have done to help you promote your business.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'd say in the beginning they were a little like hesitant on the whole baking thing, just because, like I said, the art industry is a little bit more difficult to, I guess, succeed in. It takes a lot more effort and a lot more time and a lot more grinding. So at first they were a little bit hesitant, and I like continued to do it anyways, and I pushed myself, and they really could see like my progress and how many like, orders and how much attention I was getting. Um, and since then, whenever I do markets and stuff, my parents will help me as much as they can. Whenever I have orders and I have like me out. And I'd say like when it comes to like Facebook, the Facebook groups, I like to put my stuff on there, and my dad and my mom will like share it everywhere. Like they share, we have so many family members, they reshare it. It goes everywhere. So I definitely owe like thanks to my parents for literally everything. Especially with I still live at home, and I take over the kitchen, and I know that drives my parents insane, but they help me out when they really need the kitchen too. So yeah, they're definitely a huge help when it comes to my business for sure.
Hmm.
That's kind of one of the things that we've learned in the a lot of the interviews that we've had is that not everybody sometimes take you know your entrepreneurial spirit. you know um, oh, what are you doing? Oh my god. Sometimes you get that negativity about
Hmm.
what you're doing, and I like the fact that you said that you continued anyway, because
Hmm.
I think that that's a big part of, even with everybody we've talked to, they didn't get there by just listening to everybody that says you can't do
Yeah.
it. So and even in an industry that's well defined, with a lot of different people doing the same thing or doing it,
Hmm.
it's always something different about what you do. And
Me
so
too.
that's something that I'm glad that you were able to mention, because our listeners out there need to know that they have the opportunity to grow from you know um, you know ideas that
Hmm.
even if it's the same as someone else. I mean, a shoemaker is a shoemaker, but
Hmm.
there's a hell of a lot of shoes out there to be
Exactly.
made. Everybody's got different kind of shoes, so it doesn't mean that you can't be a good shoemaker. So,
Hmm.
the same thing for their food. So I'm gonna pass it over to Razak. He has some questions for you, and I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, you have a lot you was just saying right there. Um, well, okay, so you cake maker. Did you mention your painting? You said did you paint too, right?
Yeah, I paint. It's not amazing, but it's something. Yeah, I like when I was younger, I was more into like drawing, and I always loved drawing like little flowers and like just filling up the whole like page with like flowers. And then I just recently started like painting, and I like cartoon characters. I love SpongeBob. So I made like a little like plankton like drawing, and I painted it, and yeah, I love it. I love painting.
Is that do you incorporate all these like your dance and cooking and in the painting? Is it incorporated into your business now, the Kanamori Bakery? Kanamori?
No, I would say no. I do keep things pretty separate. I do have on my personal account, I would post my dance videos whenever I like felt they were like really good enough to post. But when it comes to like painting or like drawing, I like randomly post them on my like story on my personal, but nothing on my bakery account.
Okay, well, does your drawing aspect or painting come into play while you're making the cakes or designing the cakes? Does that play a part?
I'd say so when it comes to like color theory. Because when it comes to color theory is using like different like the primary colors to make like um like different colors. So like me using like I just found out the other day for a cake order I didn't have a brown, so I mixed red, yellow, and blue, and that created brown. So me knowing this from painting and creating different colors when I don't have the color I need definitely helped me when it came to like my baking and me decorating cakes and everything.
Okay, okay. Um, can you share with us your favorite recipe or dish that you love to cook?
Yeah, so I'm not giving out any recipes because they're secret, but I'd say my like favorite recipe that I've created is my brown butter vanilla cake with dulce de leche filling. It is delicious. And like I said earlier, my cakes and like everything that I make is like not too sweet. It's very well balanced. So the brown butter vanilla cake is the butter in itself. The brown butter is I put on the stove. It's regular butter. I put it on the stove. I let it like cook down until there's little brown bits on the bottom, and that like creates a deep like nutty flavor, even though there's no nuts in it. It's just a deeper like caramelized buttery flavor. And I add that to my vanilla batter, and it just brings another element, like a deeper flavor into the cake. So it's really, really good. And then I make everything homemade. So the dulce de leche was also made. It's kind of like a richer caramel, and they just go very, very well together. It's very delicious. Very, very good.
Can't wait to see one of those.
It is.
You know, okay, so you were saying a lot about your upbringing, and you had moved around a lot. You was in the kitchen, but is there any a hmm, is there like a specific moment when you said that you was that inspired you to pursue a career in doing bakery,
Mm-hmm.
and then making, because you said you do cakes mostly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is there a specific moment that you can pinpoint, like we go, this is why I actually do it?
Yeah, so it was in middle school. I would make like that was when I was just getting into like just not that I was just getting into baking because I've always baked, but I would use the box cake mix. It's not the same when it comes to like when you're doing it from scratch, but for my friends, I'd always make them like a cake and I'd bring it to school and we sing happy birthday and everything. And just seeing their reaction to me like making the cake and just knowing that it was like such a special moment for them and knowing that just like a dessert in itself can like make somebody's day. I like that's when I like really realized like that's something I like really want to do because I've always been interested in helping others. And I thought about the medical route, but the schooling's a little too long for me. Um, so when it came to like baking, I just knew that it's like already a passion of mine, and if I could turn that into like a profit and a business, I was like, like I should just take the chance.
Take the chance.
Yeah, take the chance.
Taking that risk, entrepreneurial.
Sure.
Man, what do you think is the most important aspect of running a successful food business right now?
I'd say one of the most important is honestly the marketing. I love like creating content and sharing it, and I know people have very, very short attention spans, so I choose to make my videos a bit shorter. And then also I realize that like voiceovers help a lot more in like keeping people's attention. So I'd say like marketing definitely has helped, especially when I love like taking videos and taking pictures of my stuff, and like I said, like editing all that stuff is definitely like one of my favorite parts. So just sharing that with others and knowing that I can like get sales from that and like get people's attention and they're like just like more exposure to my business. I'd say that's definitely a huge aspect in owning a bakery business for sure.
Okay, okay. Can you share with us a food related project or initiative that you are currently working on?
Ooh, that's a that's a tricky one right there. I wouldn't say I'm doing like a project, but I recently did like a what's it called? I was in a competition. I don't know if that's not really a project. I I'm like more focused on school right now because I'm trying to get done. I do have one semester left after this, so that is my main goal to finish. But I'd say like recently I did do like a competition where it was bakers like all over the United States that came together, and they had people vote for them. And that was like a constant thing. You have to vote like once a day. And it was a little tough. I didn't make it to the top 10, so I'll give myself that. But getting people to keep on voting was, it's a little bit difficult. And people lose like attention. But I feel like that it's not really a project at all. But I feel like that's something that I did recently. Yeah.
Okay, that must have been fun. All right.
Yeah, it was fun.
Uh,
It was fun.
How did you acquire the knowledge and the the steps to get into a competition like that?
So I actually got an ad that came up on my Instagram, like on my business page, and it said like favorite chef, and I was like, oh, like this is interesting, and I did look into it a little bit more just to make sure it was a little like legit, because it did say that if you did win, you'd get like $25,000, you'd be on the cover of some magazine, some like cooking magazine, and then you'd also be able to go to like a gala in New York. So it was like it seemed a little suspicious, I'm not gonna lie. But I did do my research, and one of them, she is a very popular chef. I'm forgetting her name right now, which is kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie. But she is on Food Network, and I just like looked at all of the information on the actual website. I applied. You have to talk about your business, like if you have one, and like your passion and like what got you into it, and all of that jazz. And I got accepted, which was pretty exciting. But yeah, just the whole process was just asking people just to continue to vote for you every day. And then also they have a competition within the competition where it's like, okay, like you have to do a plated like a plated dessert. So I had to make it as like pretty as I could, like something you'd find in like a fancy restaurant, and then you get picked and you could win another $5,000. So it was very interesting. It was very fun. I did meet a couple people through that, not in person but online. But yeah, it was just doing my research and making sure that it was legit, because it is an ad. You can't believe in everything, but it was, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
Okay, I imagine so. That was an experience to have.
Yeah.
Okay, you see some more competitions in your future too?
Yes, I have gotten a couple people that like follow me that have told me I should go on like the like baking competitions on Food Network. And
Mm.
while it does excite me, I am kind of nervous. Like I guess when I'm like under a lot of pressure, I don't know how I'll react, especially if that's like recorded. So I don't know if I'm there just yet, but that definitely does interest me.
Oh, so we might see you on the TV one time, huh? One of
Maybe.
these days in the future.
Hmm.
Okay,
She's
okay.
already she's already on the TV, man.
You're right.
Uh,
I thought you
I'm
didn't
talking
know.
about on the show getting thousands of dollars for cooking, for baking stuff, man.
Mhm.
Okay, so how do you this is if it applies. Okay, so you have a mixture of ethnicities, right?
Mhm.
So how do you? This is if you do
Mhm.
if you incorporate like a cultural aspects to making your food and or designing, or dressing up the cakes or in the
Mhm.
other things you do.
Yeah, I'd say like I do use like my Puerto Rican culture a lot when it comes to like flavor wise. I haven't done it recently, but September was Hispanic Heritage Month, and my goal for next year is to actually do the whole month of September is to do like a like you're traveling through Hispanic countries and using their what's it called? Their most popular dessert and turning that into a cupcake. So that's like I haven't done it yet, but I do use some flavors like the dulce de leche. That's a Hispanic flavor. I do have cinnamon churro, which is also very Hispanic. And yeah, there's a couple other ones, but yes, just turning. What I really want to do is just turning like popular desserts from different Hispanic countries into cupcakes. I think that would be a very cool thing to do.
Okay, okay. And are those things that you have to like outsource to get? You got to ship to get them, or is that in your?
No, I think I could like most of the time I do make actually not even most of the time, all the time. I make everything from scratch. So I feel as though I could like figure it out. And if it's not probably not gonna be exactly how the dessert is in the Hispanic country, but it's like my version of it, if that makes sense. So I don't think I need to outsource it. I'm just gonna do what I can with what I have.
And what would you say would be the craziest food combination or dish that 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 you put together and then it worked and it was like a good idea, but you just kind of just created it out of thin air.
I don't have any off the top of my head, but it's gonna sound like this one's gonna sound a tiny bit weird, but to like a lot of the Hispanic culture, it really isn't weird. It's like guava and cheese. It sounds a little weird. Yeah, it sounds a little
Guava?
weird. Yeah, guava and cheese. It just sounds like I don't know how to explain it. Like it sounds a little interesting to like people who have never heard it before, but it's really just guava and cream cheese. And putting that together, it's kind of like a cheesecake. Not gonna lie, if you mix both together. But I created like it's like a cupcake, and it has like a guava and cream cheese like filling in the middle, and I put like a vanilla frosting on top, but then I also put the pastry. So it's a Cuban, it's more Cuban pastry. And it's like puff pastry and it has like the guava, the cream cheese, and it's warm. It's absolutely delicious. So I like created my own like in a cupcake version. And then I have the little pastry that I made from scratch like on top. It's really good.
Okay. All
Explain
right.
to people the guava and what other places they will see guava.
Sorry, say that one more time.
Explain to people what is it? Is guava or guava? Say the pronunciation right.
It's guava. In Spanish, it's guayaba. So
Explain,
we
yeah, what it is and where are some other places they would see it. Sorry, Rizal.
Yeah, so it normally grows in more like tropical areas, but we find them here all the time. They get shipped here from like different places, but it is like extremely popular in Puerto Rico and then Florida because there has a whole bunch of like combining like Hispanic cultures, and just like the Bahamas. My mom is from the Bahamas, so that's a humongous thing there too. And Cuba, it's a humongous thing. So it's more like in tropical areas.
Tropical areas.
Is it the thing that I think about when I get one of those drinks that's got those balls at the bottom? That's different.
No,
What?
that's different. You said the
Yeah.
little balls at the bottom? That's like boba.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's they're called tapioca pearls. That's within the Asian.
Okay, okay, okay. I was thinking, wow,
No, it's okay. It's okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Um, I got. Well, I just got like a few more questions, and we kind of go back and forth with the questions things, and then I'll pass it back to Keith. Um, can you tell us about this is if you have one, a food related mentor or role model that has influenced you during your career?
Yeah. So I mentioned that I went to culinary school. And when I did go, I really thought I was going for baking, just so I can learn a little bit more that I could end up putting towards my business. But it turned out that it was literally like, culinary is culinary. So it was really like cooking classes. And, excuse me, when you get there, they give you like the recipe and they're like, okay, make it. And I'm like, huh? Like, I was like, wait, I don't have experience in doing this. Because normally when I'm home, I guess I cook, I just put whatever together. But these are like recipes, these are like classical French cuisine recipes. And I don't know some of the methods they use. So we were put into like a group, not even a group, a partner. We had one partner and we had to create the recipe and then the chef would rate it, like let us know like how it tasted and like what we need to work on. And I'd say my mentor, I went for like a year and a half. Her name is Chef Lisa. She's absolutely amazing. I told her about my business and she's helped me ever since. She's ordered from me. She ordered from me last year. She ordered like over 200 cupcakes for an event. And she wanted me to come to it. It was for just like homeless youth. It was amazing. But yeah, she's definitely helped me throughout my business. She helped me like with my template for like my business plan. She gave me a template. She's given me like ideas on wholesale for the wineries around here. She's helped me a lot. She's absolutely amazing.
Okay. Okay. That you kind of like touched on this other question I was going to bring up a little later on, but it's you kind of like was ran on it. Can you tell us about a food related charity or cause that you are passionate about and why?
Yeah, so I don't, it's so sad. I don't remember the name of that particular one, but I was in Huntington Beach. I don't remember the name, but it was just more on. I love children. It was more on just like homeless youth and just troubled youth to keep them from doing bad things and just staying on the right track. They do cooking classes like once in a while, and Chef Lisa, she is there to do the cooking classes. She goes to like some houses, like some other houses, and she'll do like group cooking classes with them just to keep them on the right track. There's also a whole bunch of other things they do. They do like dance classes too. They do a variety of different things, but the cooking classes are like one of their main things because more children need to learn how to cook, and it's like a fun experience to do when you like just let go and just try new things. But like I said, I don't remember the name of the charity and just even their the foundation in general. But yeah, it's they do like cooking classes. They have like a lot of different like little like parties to bring everybody together, and they give out like a whole bunch of stuff to them, and it's amazing.
Okay, well that's okay. I mean, this is something that you're trying to get into, or you're trying to frequently go to, right? This is
Hmm.
you might do things one time and might not think it's going to be continuously something that you're going to do, and it just slips your mind. Times get busy. You know. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this one more thing, and then we're
Hmm.
going to pass it on over. Okay, so this is one of the things I kind of like to ask too with people who are that's go to these events and stuff. So since you've been doing your events, oh well, how many events have you done? Have you been doing a lot, or
Like the
uh,
markets around here.
yeah, like well, I guess we didn't. I'm not too sure if you even said that. How long have you been in going to the events and doing that?
It's probably been like I'm gonna say like a year and some change. I did it like I didn't do my first year of business because I really didn't know that there were like markets like that. But my second year I did a couple. I want to do more, but I'm still in school, so it's hard for me to make the time to do so on top of orders that I receive. But yeah, I've done a good amount of them. I just do them when I have the chance.
Okay, okay. All right, so all right, with this, you still good for this question. So, how do you stay motivated and inspired in your cooking or well, your baking, even during times of when you might be burnt out, or in your case, you might have to, come from school or go to school or something like that, or have creative blocks. And this is during since you've been doing your business on a professional level.
Hmm. Honestly, that is pretty hard. I just push myself. And I feel like that's the most like the simplest answer I can give. I definitely push myself. I do get burnouts. I had one recently. It's when I have multiple orders a day, and then like something for an order just continuously goes wrong, and I still have more to do after that with other orders. So it's like I just want to just throw everything. Like I'm just like I'm done, but it's like I can't do that. So I say like I just honestly I just take some time away. I do what I need to do, and then I stop. I don't take any orders for like a day or two, just to give me time to like recuperate. And I dance. That helps a lot. Just to like it's like freeing. It's another way for me to express myself without like saying it words. And yeah, I just listen to music. I just chill. I try and chill because I have a hard time doing that. I always continue to do things. I always take last minute orders, and I probably shouldn't because it stresses me out even more. But I love making people happy. So when I have the chance, I like to just take a chill pill and just try to relax as much as I can when I have the chance.
Okay, okay. And when you had mentioned that dancing, is there also a site where you can mention for people to, I don't know, or do you kind of like coach in dancing too as you dance, or you just post content just to?
Not right now. I don't coach or anything. I did think about it at one point, but because I'm so
Mhm.
busy with other things, I don't do that. But I say like some really good like dance complexes. Um, I personally don't know of any around the area because I've never been to any, but the ones that I would go to is like Studio FX in San Diego, or Offstage in Anaheim. It's like really, really good. They have so many different styles and everybody's so welcoming, and it's really fun.
Okay, well that's definitely a good way to unwind and release your stress and stuff dancing around.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's for sure,
Keith.
man. Yeah, I think so, man. If you're dancing like I'm dancing, I'm usually tripping at the same time, tripping and falling. My legs just get caught up with the other leg, and I'm like, because I remember when I was dancing back in the day, I was, boy, they didn't know what was going on, but now my legs get tripped up, everything gets rolled over. I'm like, man, I guess that move is not the same move
It's
anymore.
not a stretch.
Oh, you
Like
got to. Oh, thank
that's
you.
it. It's just stretch. You got it still.
Making me feel like okay, you got to stretch. You're getting old. You got to stretch. All right, okay, I'll take the insult. That's all right. I'm just kidding. But that's fun. That's fun. I like the fact that you're out there. Figuring out ways to get your mojo back, so to speak. For what you're in business for, and and what it takes to stay in business as an entrepreneur, because everybody get burnt out, and that's a big part of why small business fail, or they just just go off the books and you never see them again because they just get burned out. They want the money, they want the attention, but then when they start to get it, it's like, oh no, it's too much. And so let
Hmm.
me ask you, I'm gonna go backwards on a couple questions, but do you have help? Do you have other people that are you got to bring into the mix now that you're getting more? I know you're in school still, but do you see having to bring in help?
Um, no, I normally don't. The most help I will get is from like my parents or my sister, for like markets and stuff. They'll come and help me set up and then also come back and break everything down with me. But other than that, I really don't like ask for help or like get any help. I don't have any employees or anything. It's just me.
Okay. Okay, so you find that you just you're able to handle things on your own right now as far as
Hmm.
with the little help that you may get for setting up. So let me
Yeah.
ask you about what is one of your best cakes? What is it that when you make it, you be like, man, I don't want to even give this to nobody. I kind of want to slice this up right now and take me a piece. Maybe I could fill it in with a little bit of flour and water with some other cake mix and put it in there. How do you? What's your favorite?
I'd say the one I mentioned earlier, the brown butter vanilla cake with dulce de leche filling. That one is insane. It's so good. I have two other ones, but that one's my like number one. I also have for seasonal flavors. I have a brown butter pumpkin cake. It is so good. The pumpkin cake is like super moist, not extremely sweet. It's like spiced very well. It's pretty well balanced, and the frosting itself is brown butter, so it has the same exact flavor as the cake would have, but it's in the frosting form. And then my frosting is also not too sweet. It's very light. It kind of tastes like whipped cream, but it has that like deeper element of like that nutty caramel buttery flavor. It's so good. And then I say my third one is caramel apple, and I absolutely hate like caramel apples. It's disgusting to me. I don't like the texture. I'm a texture eater, but I with the caramel, I infuse my caramel with the apples. So the caramel tastes like apple. There's no apple in the actual cake. I just drizzle caramel throughout the batter. I swirl it around so it's throughout the whole entire cake, and it tastes just like caramel apple, but like with no chunks of apple. It's so good.
You know what? You're being creative because that's supposedly supposed to go together.
Hmm.
Everybody's supposed to have a caramel apple thing that they eat during this time of the year. And
Exactly.
so those are some of the things. Can you talk a little bit about um, like where you're from? I know you said you placed it, but talk a little bit about the experiences that you've had there, if you've been in other, states, countries, or whatever, and what have you found when you come back home? What are some of the things that makes it solid for you? When you come back home, what have you learned on that path when you're traveling through a military family like
Yeah. So I was born in South Carolina, which is complete like it's all the way over there. um, I don't remember anything from there, to be honest. I lived there for 5 years of my life. It was the first 5 years of my life, and then I moved to Arizona. I was there for a couple of years, and then I moved to Rhode Island for like a year and a half, and then I moved back to Arizona, and then I moved to California, and then in California I moved like 4 times. So been a lot of moving. I would say California is my home. I've lived here the longest, and I've always known for some reason that I was going to like live here. I don't know why, but I did. I'd say that like I guess like the culture in each place is completely different. Like I said, I don't remember South Carolina, but Arizona, like I feel like everybody's more welcoming. Rhode Island, they really they're different types of people. They're a little what's the word? They're pretty selfish from what I remember, and that was something that I wasn't used to. I was only there for like a year, and I was pretty young too. I was there for like third grade to like fourth grade, and then I moved back to Arizona. So I honestly, I'd say like it's more like the cultural aspect that has been completely different in each place. And I feel like California, it's just like a mixture of people. But I definitely say California is like my home. Like I said, I've been here the longest. But yeah, I don't know if that really answered your question.
No, that's great.
Yes, it is.
The fact that you're part of a military family, they travel a lot of places, and usually when you're young, you're just being carted around to all different places. And
Mhm.
now that you found California your home, pretty much lines up with the type of personality you got, joyful,
Mhm.
smiley, and everything else, and you're dancing, and all of these things are you go to San Diego, but I'm from San Diego, so a little bit, even though I'm from Louisiana, but I spend most of my time in San Diego. It's a lifestyle
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
different, So
That's
you,
very.
you incorporate all those things. So let
Mhm.
me ask you about. Well, I'm gonna ask this question only because I wrote it down real quick. Do you make carrot cakes?
Do I make carrot cakes?
Yeah. Do you know
No,
how to make a good carrot cake?
I don't make carrot cake.
All right, let's just skip that over. We'll edit that out.
I can try. For me, I know I shouldn't, but it's like I do a lot of my focus on what I will like, which is probably bad. But for me, it's hard for me to know how, like, if it even tastes good if I don't like it. So I do normally have like my parents try like new flavors that I don't really like. But I've honestly never thought about adding carrot cake. So I may give that a try.
I did my best. I did my best to try
I
to.
can try it though.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking forward to it. That's the only reason why I asked. But let me ask you this other question here that I'm thinking you can help us with. Was it anything else that you thought about doing? Is it? I know you're in the baking industry right now. Was it any other type of fields that you was finding that maybe I think I'm gonna go into this, whether it's in the acting and to any other type of things here. Being in California, there's a lot of other things that people think about. Did you think about anything else as you were going through this process of becoming a chef, or going to classes for culinary school and whatnot?
Yeah. I was kind of all over the place, not gonna lie. My parents always said like I can never like stick with one thing, and I'm still kind of like that right now, not gonna lie. But I'd say like growing up, I wanted to be in the medical field. Like I really wanted to work with children, so I wanted to be a pediatrician at one point. And then I wanted to go into dentistry because I love like teeth. I don't know why, it's kind of weird, but that's like when I look at a person, that's the first thing I look at is their teeth and their eyebrows. It's weird, but I was always interested in like dentistry, and that was actually what I was going to do. But then I was like, I'm gonna like just see how my baking business will go, and then I clearly stuck with that. But I don't know, maybe in the future, I don't know. Dentistry has been something that I've been kind of interested in, and then I thought about chiropractic. I love like going to the chiropractor. I told you I'm all over the place. And then the last thing was dance, but my parents were also kind of hesitant about that because it's in the arts industry, and it is a little bit more difficult because it's a lot more competition, which is the same thing with baking, but dance is like you have to be at a certain level to book gigs and everything. And they were like, you need to have something to fall back on. So knowing me, I just chose something that I am equally as passionate about, and knowing that I can kind of feel like I can push myself forward, and then I could do dancing like on the side.
That's great. Having a secondary path is always good, especially if it's something you enjoy doing. So what is that? Talk a little bit about what you are going to school for, what you are taking up at this time, and where that fits in everything.
Yeah. So I did my associate at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. I did. My mom and my dad were like, okay, if you're going to get into baking, you need to know like the business aspect of it. And at the time, I was like, oh, like I don't want to do that. But looking back, that's the best thing I could have done. I got my associate's degree in business administration, and then I also got my degree after in culinary arts. And then I transferred to Cal State San Marcos, and I've been there for like 2 years now. I'm getting my bachelor's in marketing. Like it's a business administration with an emphasis in marketing, and that clearly definitely helps my business a lot. Everything I learned, I put it towards my business. So I'm happy that I'm kind of going to school at the same time as like still like building my business, because like I said, I'm using everything I learned to kind of like benefit me in that way. And then also there's some things that I'm learning in school that I like kind of already knew. So it's like I'm kind of relearning it, I guess. But yes, it's marketing.
I think that's cool because I think you said a very important thing right there, where you're able to benefit from going to school and getting that real, understanding about business and how that, works, and finances and marketing, and understanding all of those different things. Why you at this stage or going through the stage of your business, I think you're able to accomplish a lot more than some of the average entrepreneur out there, because
Mhm.
they're trying to learn that stuff on the fly, right? They're trying to get this information. They're looking at YouTube. They're doing all these other things to grab that knowledge, and
Mhm.
yet you're going every day and applying it to your business. So the
Exactly.
the, the prospect of you succeeding is very, very high, in that way.
That's
So
fun.
yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Let me ask you about, now that you got this business and you've established it and everything, talk a little bit about how you got to it. What was the licensing? What was that process for you that you can help other people understand? You got to go to these events, they ask for X, you got to pay X. And
Mhm.
establish your business. Just talk about that whole process and what you learned from that.
Yeah. So originally, when I first started my business, I was very naive and like kind of I did not really pay attention. All I knew is that okay, I want to bake and I want to sell my stuff to people. So I did not have a license. I did not have anything, and then I ended up reaching out to like a couple people through Instagram, like not within our area, but just in general, um, like asking them questions, and they did not help me at all. Like they gatekept everything, and I had to learn on my own. Um, I like saw a video of somebody saying something about a CFO license, which is a cottage food operations like permit or license. You can go either way, but it's the same thing. And I was like, what is that? And then I looked it up and I found that you need that to sell your stuff. And I was like, oh, I had my business for over a year and did not know that. So that was a little bad, but I did as soon as I figured that out. I did it right away. I went through the Riverside County Health Department, and it took a little bit of time, not gonna lie, but you can actually go in person and do it like extremely fast and you'll get it the day of. I didn't know that. So now that whenever I get those questions like, oh, do you have a license? And da da da, I let them know that yes, I do, but I recommend you go straight to the health department. Don't do it online because they kind of put you on the back burner and then you have to keep on like reminding them. But yes, I have a cottage food operations license. It's like you are given a permit number and you have to have that on every like dessert that leaves your house so people know that you are like certified. And there are like two different ones. You can get cottage food A or cottage food B. Cottage food A is what I have, which is allowing you to sell out of your home and at markets, whereas cottage food B allows you to do both, but you also are able to do wholesale. I don't feel like I'm there yet because I don't have time for that, but eventually that's a possibility. And for markets, a lot of the times they ask for, like, if you have a permit, especially with food, because you never know, people could have some random stuff in their food. So the fact that you have a permit number definitely shows that you are doing your thing, you're doing everything right. And then also a lot of them ask for a TFF, which is a temporary food facility form. It's just letting people know that, like, this is for the market in itself. Like, you do have a permit number, but you have to sign something else that's like, okay, I'm allowing you to have food at this market. I'm certified, and that the health department knows. And a lot of times, they say that they'll have the health department come down and actually check that you have everything in order. But most times they don't. But I always, you have to be prepared in every case. So I have everything ready, just in case. But honestly, it's just those two. You can have like a seller's permit, but it really doesn't make sense to have a seller's permit because the cottage food license is a seller's permit. It's allowing you to sell out of your home. So I don't recommend people get it because it's just unnecessary money that you're spending when you really don't need to. But that's really all you need for if you want to, like, bake or cook out of your home, just to have a cottage food license. And then obviously your food handlers. I forgot about that one. That one's a main one too. You need that too, just so they know that you know how to work with food and that you're not cross contaminating, and that that bacteria spreads very fast. It's just like, it's very simple. It's common sense, but a lot of people don't really use it. I'm gonna lie. So yeah, just your food handlers and your cottage food permit.
Yeah, I think you've said a lot out there, and that's important for people to know because they need to understand how that process works. Because the food handler permit is a big, big, big part of that. Know how to wash your hands because people are worried about seeing stuff at the vending events. Let me ask you about some of the things you've experienced in preparing your food. Have you lost anything, like burnt some stuff up, or have you got into a place where you said, "Man, I'm all prepared to go," and the cake drops. What are some of the experiences that you ran through and prepared for an event?
I'd say that the couple that have happened, I had a gender reveal like a couple months ago, and they wanted it to be pink and everything. They got that right, but then I looked at it and I was like, why is it so flat? It looked like a pancake, and I had it in the oven for the same amount of time I normally have. I forgot the baking powder and the baking soda, the stuff that makes it rise. I completely forgot that. So obviously I had to throw that away, which was so sad because it's wasted ingredients, wasted butter, and butter and eggs are expensive. But that was my mistake, and I definitely learned from that. I always put that in first. What else? I have dropped eggs on the floor so much. I'll have it, like, I'll put it down and then I'll turn my head and then it'll just drop on the floor because I'm not paying attention. It's at the edge of the table. But yeah, I just, like, I make sure to, like, prepare in advance when it comes to orders now, just so I'm not, like, stressing out if something like bad happens. I'll have, like, everything measured out in, like, a bag, and the date and everything and the person's name for the order. So when I go to actually bake off their stuff, everything is prepared. All the dry ingredients are prepared in the bag, and then all the wet ingredients are prepared in a container. So all I have to do is just put it all together, and then it's done like that. I just put it in the oven, and yeah, the cake is done.
I like the part where you say you just reached over and set the egg down, and the egg just fell on the ground. Because I just done that like recently. I thought for sure my hand was over the egg thing, and it just and once the egg gets running, get the going, it is gone. It's gonna run all over. It's gonna make a freaking mess. I hate that. Let me ask you this, and then we'll try to go towards seeing some of your product. I like to
Yeah.
ask you about, what events you got coming up. What are some things that you're doing right now that are gonna be you're gonna be at, or are you still working on that?
Yeah, so I don't have any in November yet. I'm trying to get into some. The person that I normally am a part of their events. They're not doing any more in Temecula for the rest of the year, so sad, but it's okay. I'm trying to get into. There's a lot of them at Villa Ranch headquarters in Temecula on Temecula Parkway. So I'm just trying to get into more of those. But there's so many people doing what I'm doing, so it is a bit more difficult because they only take like a limited amount of people doing the same thing. So there's not much competition. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get into at least 2 of those in November at least. And then I said I go to Cal State San Marcos. I did a pitching contest in spring of this year, and it was honestly done for like extra credit for my class. But he's like, if you guys have a business or idea, just do it. You can win $1,000. And I was like, And he's like, if you sign up, you get extra credit. If you get accepted, you get extra credit. If you win, you get extra credit. I was like, you know what? Why not get the extra credit? And I ended up getting accepted. They only chose 5 people. I don't know how many people applied, but they only chose 5 people, and I was one of them. And I ended up winning. So I won $1,000. And through that competition, the Innovation Hub, which is like it's innovation. It's like engineering. It's like entrepreneurship. Just like owning a business. It's all that stuff. They have like even like lawyers come in and help you out with like different plans that you have. They help you with everything. They remembered me and they asked if I could be a part of their student market in December. And they also are ordering like 200 cookies for me for that particular event. So all that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't push myself and say like, why not for the pitching contest. But that one's in December and it is at San Marcos. And the market is student-owned businesses. So that's pretty cool as well.
Wow, I like to be able to go there and check out some of the other vendors out there. I'd like you to be able to send me that information if you could. That would be great,
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of the BRC?
Say again?
The BRC?
BRC?
BRC, Black Riverside County vending event. They usually have
No.
that. Okay,
I've never heard of that.
I'll send you some information on that as
Yeah,
well.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. And what you mentioned earlier about the winery, have you tried, has there been any wineries that you've been at or you'd like to get to go to those, or what was something about that?
So I did reach out to a couple of different wineries just to see if I could do if I could have like a pop-up shop there, because there's a lot of people that come to Temecula for the wineries, so I thought that would be a really good place. I ended up getting a person for, I forgot which winery it was. I think it was South Coast Winery. They said yes, and I was able to come in, and they had a couple other vendors there too, which was pretty cool. And it was like a night market. It was very nice. It was a while ago, but I haven't done any recently. I want to, but like I said, I don't have as much time as I'd like. And then I also thought about just bringing them in, just some of my product, like my cookies, because they do wholesale with different businesses around here. Just so they could try it and hopefully pitch my business to them and see if that's even a chance that I could possibly do wholesale in the future. But I haven't done that yet.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with AaLYSSA, owner of Amor Bakery. She'll be right back with us with some new product that she's going to show us, and I hope your eyes and your mouth is watering because we're going to take a look at it right now.
Yeah.
Ask you about it. What is this right here?
So that was what I mentioned, the pitching contest. I came in and so I can talk about that a little bit more, but I went in and the pitching contest was only 5 minutes. Everybody only had 5 minutes to explain what their business was about or their idea. And I had my presentation on that big screen there. They didn't end up having it up there at the time, but there was around 100 and something people in the room, and the contestants that we all didn't know that that the people in the room were actually voting for us. So yeah, we were all kind of nervous about that, and then I ended up winning. So they gave me the check to hold.
Okay, some questions. Okay. So so this is just a pitch for you to get donation money or something like that.
Yeah, so donation money, but it was more of just if we did have an idea, just to, I guess it is donation money. I'm not too sure, but it was just to get us on like I guess starter money for like whatever we wanted to do. But everybody else's idea, it was more of an idea, whereas mine was an actual business. So I felt like that kind of gave me a little bit of an edge, um, like compared to everybody else. But yeah, I just explained myself and they ended up choosing me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a video of me decorating a cake for it's a fireman. He's a firefighter. The lady gave me a cake, I mean a photo, and I made it into an edible image, and I placed that on top of the cake with her. I think it's him and his baby, his like child. And she gave me creative freedom again, so I just chose to do. She just wanted blue and black, so I just chose to add the little squiggles. I think that looked the best at the time. I don't know if I want to use this one in particular, but yeah.
You said you had an edible image. How did you create that?
So I originally there's a cake supply store in on Jefferson in Temecula, and it's like an edible printer. So it's like the ink itself is edible, and then the printer, like the paper, is actually like very 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 thin, like frosting. Which is it's crazy to think about that we're actually like printing out an image, but yeah, it's literally frosting. You put the image on top of frosting, like I did on top of the cake, and after like I'm gonna say like a good 20 minutes, it like kind of conjoins with the frosting. So when you cut into it, it's like soft like frosting.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that was. Just make a gender reveal. Is that something you also kind of get hired to do?
Yes, I've recently gotten a lot more of those, but that is that's the one where I told you guys where I forgot the baking powder and baking soda. So I had to redo the cake. So yeah,
You
yeah, that is,
forgot the baking soda in making the cake?
yes. So when I like did it, it was so flat, so I had to throw that one away and make another one, and that was the new cake.
All right, we'll edit that one out. We don't want nobody to know
Yeah. I think it's funny.
that.
It shows that I make mistakes too.
Yeah. Oh, this one. That's one of my questions too. That what mistakes that have you made in the question? So in the kitchen. So I guess that
Mhm.
would go with that. All right. This looks pretty
Yeah,
elaborate right here.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that one's my favorite cake I've ever made.
This is
It's
this is the favorite cake.
Yeah, I loved putting like I love putting flowers on cakes. I know it's not edible, but like it just I feel like it brings a lot of like I don't know, it's gonna sound weird, like positivity, and it's like just bright and beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, those are like all the other cakes I made during that month that I posted. It's not all of them, but it's like a good amount of them that I made. And the ones that I have posted videos on of me decorating them, I never did like close up pictures of them. So I normally every month I'll post like a couple of photos of the cakes I've done that I've taken videos of just so people can see them up close.
Okay, so give us a quick little rundown of what these cakes are. What inspired
Yeah,
them, real
so
quick. So
this particular cake, it's a 4-inch mini cake, so it's a personal sized one, which it feeds up to 5 people if you really have like small slices, but I normally say it feeds like up to 3 at most. It is a lemon raspberry cake and it has a mixed berry filling, all homemade. It's really, really moist and like really good. The lemon raspberry is a raspberry compote, which is raspberries with sugar I put on the stove with lemon juice and it turns into like kind of like a syrup. And then I add that and I swirl it throughout my lemon cake. So you get it in every bite. It's really, really good, really moist and not too sweet. And then she wanted vanilla buttercream. So I made it vanilla and she had 2 colors in mind. All she really wanted was a light blue and red. And I thought, okay, like why not add hearts on it? Because I thought that would like be cute. And I love that the red and the blue, like they go good together. And then she also asked if I can add some cherries, maraschino cherries on top. So I did just that, and it was for her 24th. So I thought I could make it as like special as I could, and I did it with all like just creative freedom. I just did it off the top of my head at the time. That one was a marble cake. She just wanted it to be marble. She didn't want any filling at all. That also was a creative freedom cake. She just wanted something girly. And I've seen many cakes on Pinterest where they added like these little rosettes on top, and I thought it would be cute to add like some burgundy in there. And so I added it with the leaves all around it, and yeah, it's also something where I kind of just created it off the top of my head while I was doing it. That one was a giveaway cake. I did a giveaway probably like a month and a half before, and all she wanted was for it to be different shades of blue. So it's an Oreo cake, and she chose the that she wanted a heart, and I just did it off the top of my head again, just creative freedom. I love being given creative freedom because I'm just like I do whatever comes to mind at the time, and it normally works out in my favor.
Where do you get your inspiration to make these different ones? Because they each look like they're individually made. I haven't really seen something that looks exactly the same as the other one.
Honestly, it comes from my head. I don't know how else to say it. I don't like creating the same things over and over. I have done this, the one that's on the screen. I've done that one a couple of times because everybody loves that design. I'm not too sure why. I love it too, but it's very, very popular for like boys' birthdays. I do that one very often. But all my other ones, I try not to recreate as much, just because I like doing like different things for each person. I want it to be like special for that individual person. So whenever I get people who ask me like, "Oh, I want you to make this the same exact cake," even if it's not mine, if it's like another baker or something, I tell them like I can make something similar, but I don't make it the same exact. So like, if you're okay with that, then we'll like proceed. But most times they're fine with it.
Okay.
That was for a gender reveal. They just wanted it to be white. The inside is vanilla, and it was a boy's birthday, not boy's birthday. It was a boy. So the vanilla cake is blue, and I just decided to make it like a little, I guess, dainty and like not too like girly. It's more neutral, I guess. But yeah, I just added just a cute like border on top and on the bottom, and a little bit of like a piping on the sides, but I wanted to put more emphasis on like that it's a gender reveal, so I put like the baby in the middle, so they'll figure it out when they cut into
Once you
it.
cut into the cake, and you'll see if it's a blue or pink, right?
They can either do the cake itself, the gender, the color, or they can do the frosting in the middle, the color, if they don't want it to be dyed.
Okay. And where do you where okay, so technology wise, like AI or electronics or wise, do you use or incorporate these type of things, or this all like hand I guess well hand I don't know what the word is, or you do you create everything by hand, or is there a machine ever involved? Is there like do you? Because I've seen you doing you spin the thing and do it around by yourself. Do you
Hmm.
mix everything? Is this all by hand, or do you use any electrical instruments
I
to
do
help you?
have like a KitchenAid. It's like a Yeah, it's a mixer. I have two of them, and shout out to Nicole. She's a person who has ordered from me like many many times, and she actually gave me a commercial mixer, a KitchenAid mixer, which goes for like $500+. And I've been wanting one. I was trying to save up for one, and she said she barely used it. So I was like, "You're giving it to me?" I was like, "How much is it?" And she's like, "No, I'm just giving it to you. I don't use it." And I was like, "What?" So yeah, I have two of those. I use that for mixing all of my batters for like everything I make. And then also making my frostings. But other than that, also the edible image, I use it like I have my own printer now. It's an edible printer, and I create my images through there. But yeah, other than that, I do everything myself. I just frost it all, whatever comes to my mind. I just do that on my cake, and thank God, it normally comes out good. This one is cakes of the month. The first one is my cake. It's my birthday. If you go to the next slide, it's that one up close. It was SpongeBob. I absolutely love SpongeBob, so I had to make it for my cake. I just turned 22, so yeah, that was my cake for my birthday. I was a strawberry cake with cream cheese filling. It was really really good.
I like SpongeBob, man. We used to watch that with the kids and stuff when they was well, actually they still be watching it. Actually.
Yeah, I always love SpongeBob. So new ones are better.
Man, all right. So
This one was I love it. This cake was one of my favorites as well. It was very like light. It wasn't too much to it, but she wanted it to be a vanilla cake. It was literally just vanilla inside, and she just wanted the shells to speak for herself. So I did a white border. She also gave me cream freedom. And then I chose to make the shells, which were made out of chocolate. I used a mold. And I added white to the actual mold and added some pink edible glitter. And that's what made it kind of look like that. I felt like it all came together very well.
And all these little things that we're looking at, you are creating yourself,
Yes.
or
Yes.
you're buying and placing it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the molds itself were bought through Amazon. I like getting the molds so it comes out exactly the way the customer wants it. Because she did want shells, and I've seen pictures of Belgian like cakes, but they were actually real shells, and I thought that was kind of gross, not gonna lie. So I thought it would be best to use chocolate because it's all edible, and it still gives you the same effect. So this cake right here, I normally don't do cakes like this. I feel like if you look at all the other cakes I just put on the slide, all of them are like vintage style, whereas you see this one and it's like completely different than the rest of them. So it's like I don't
Hmm.
want to do those ones as much. I like to stick to my style.
Okay, now, is this edible right here? This
Yes.
that picture. That's
Mm-hmm. I
another
just cut
edible
it out
thing.
of like the buttercream sheet and I just place it on the cake, and it just kind of combines with the frosting.
Okay, so let me ask you this: can you print out any drawing? So let me ask this. Okay, the size of from the top of her head, can you make a edible thing that goes all the way around it, like a city scene or something like that, or some
Yeah.
words?
Mm-hmm. You can. I've seen a lot of those cakes. They have like image cakes. So it's like a heart cake, and around the side of the heart, they have a whole bunch of different pictures of like the client or the person going all around the cake, and it's all an edible image, which is pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm out of touch because I haven't seen that before. This is like kind of new for me. I
Yeah,
haven't been eating too many cakes lately, but
So
no,
now you can make an image of the podcast microphone reside.
yeah, you can. I can still do that.
Yeah, we could pass that out as edibles.
oh man, we might just got you a new business, Alyssa. Okay, so now give us a quick rundown of how you made this right here. Now this is a cake, right? So I mean, I see it's in a
Hmm.
in the box. I mean the actual curves of the box. You know what I mean? That J and stuff.
Yeah, that's not a cake. Those are actually like flour cupcakes. I make they gave me like the colors that they wanted, and I chose to like just make whatever flowers came to mind. And it was for a wedding, so that's their first name like initials. And like it's like a cardboard letter, and I filled the flower cupcakes in the letter, and then I filled it also with tissue paper so it goes together better. And I chose to put it on like a full sheet like um cardboard just because it's pretty large and I didn't want it moving around too much. And I had to also deliver all the way to Corona. And yeah, I wanted to be as cautious as possible because
Hmm.
we don't want it messing up on a wedding day.
Okay, so that's not a cake; those are cupcakes just
Yes,
placed
those
in there.
are cupcakes. Yeah.
Okay, now have you tried to do a cake like that? I'm talking about the letters right here.
No, I have not. I've gotten a couple people asking me about it, but if I don't get them often, I feel like it doesn't make sense for me to like buy the molds and everything. You know what I mean? I feel like if my most popular ones are like actual like heart cakes or cakes, then I'll stick to those. But if I start getting more people asking about the loaders, I'll possibly do them more often.
Right here.
Yeah, a lady, she sent me a message about wanting my flower cupcakes, and she gave me the colors and she gave me the creative freedom to like make the flowers however I want. And they're a little difficult, not gonna lie, but they're so fun to make. And I love like seeing how they all come together. But yeah, just do whatever comes to mind, and that was like my end result. It looked really nice.
And all that's edible.
And it's the request I get. I'm telling you, I get some interesting ones. Yeah, this one though, the girl just got over a breakup, and her best friend asked me to make a cake for him. I mean, for her. Yeah.
I heard that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back with Connor Moore.
Hello.
Here with all of the juicy ideas and all of that. I don't know if you guys saw what I was looking at, but I like the roses. I like all of the roses she was making, all of those different things that would just look so good. So I'm looking forward to what else she has to say. But first, I'm going to pass it over to Razak.
Yes, that was quite a lot of sweets and well, I guess we didn't. We asked somebody else a couple of days ago, like, what is your how should I say, what is the healthiness of and dietary um balance that you have as far as like ingredients that may be allergic or anything like that, or I mean, do you ask like, hey, is somebody allergic to some of the ingredients or anything like that?
She's laughing at us right now. She said, they going to eat that sweet or not.
Honestly, they are sweets. You can eat them in moderation. You can eat. That's up to you. You do what your heart desires. I got you anyways. But when it comes to like allergies and stuff, I do put on my packaging, on my label, that there may be this and this and this. Like because some people are allergic to soy. I put like all of that stuff on there, all of the main allergens. But if people are like gluten free, I unfortunately don't do gluten free as much as I really, really want to. I've found out that making gluten free, you need like a completely separate area to make gluten free, because like I can make like a dessert and the flour like particles will be in the air for like a good 3 hours. Like when I make gluten free stuff, it's not going to be gluten free because there's flour particles in the air. Like it's some craziness. Like I can't do that. I don't want to take that chance. And then somebody gets like sick or like gets sick. I don't want to take that chance as much as I really want to do gluten free. So yeah, when it comes to like the whole dietary thing, and like I just let people know, like, hey, like they are sweets at the end of the day. Like they aren't the best for you, but if you have it in moderation, like I think that's no problem. But yeah.
Okay, now after we done just seen all of your your cakes and stuff, now this question comes to mind too. So how do you approach creating a cake that is both visually stunning and delicious? Now I kind of asked you that before, but like like how are you give us some kind of direction on how you're able to create so many different original cakes. I mean, where do you pull the ideas and where do you get the imagination from that makes you create different ones?
Yeah, well, when it comes to like the flavor wise, and I just, not to toot my own horn, but I put a lot of like effort and time into creating my recipes and like making them like as good as they can be. And I always continue to like change it up. I always ask for customer feedback because everybody's taste buds are different, and if one person's like, oh, it's a little dry, and I'm like, it hurts me, but it's like, okay, I need to like change it. But another person may be like, oh, this is super moist. So it's like I kind of go off of like both and like figure out my middle that I think works for me. So that's what I do when it comes to like flavors. I do think that like I put a lot of like effort into everything that I make, and that also goes for like the visual appearance. I ask them for inspo photos if they have any, or like the different colors they want. And if they say, oh, like I want a vintage style cake, I want the detailed piping, I want this and this and this, I'm like, okay, cool. Like for me, that comes to me very easily because it's something I do on a daily basis and I absolutely love what I do. But yeah, they just give me the colors. Most of the time they give me the colors. Sometimes they want bows on their cakes, so I'll add the bows on there. Sometimes they want cherries, I'll add the cherries on there. But honestly, they give me the inspo photos and I let them know ahead of time I do not copy those. I don't replicate them. I want to make it custom for you, so let me make it special for you. And a lot of the times they understand that. And I kind of give myself creative freedom in that way. And then I've never had any feedback to where they're like, oh, like I actually don't like the way it turned out. Thank God. But yeah, they end up liking what I make. It's just some designs just come off the top of my head as I'm doing it. Like I never have an actual like, okay, I'm gonna make it this way, and this way. I just do it like as I'm like making it. I don't know.
Okay, so let's say that feedback you're getting, that this hearing, because I'm thinking of getting something made for not only for the podcast but on some other things that are coming up, in my vision that I would explain to you, like I was asking you during the thing. Is that kind of like what gives you the idea of hearing what the person wants, and you just kind of recreate it that way, or you take what they tell you, and then you just regurgitate it in a sense, into what you uh, actually end up creating.
Yeah, so I take what they say and I just create like whatever comes to mind that I feel like I think they'll like. So it is kind of like I guess it's kind of risky in that way, but I feel like a lot of the times the people that order from me, they follow me for a while, they know my work, so they're putting their trust in me. But yeah, I just create whatever comes to mind with whatever they give me. When it comes to like colors or anything, I just had a cake recently that was, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's called 13 Going on 30. The main actress in the movie, she's wearing this dress that has like random, like it has a lime green, it has maroon, it has purple, and it has blue. Like it's all over the place, but that's an iconic dress. And this girl just gave me that dress and she's like, I want you to make me a 13 Going on 30 cake with these colors. And I was like, say less. And I created a cake with those colors and she absolutely loved it. But she didn't give me an actual like design or anything. She just said, I want those colors. So and I just went with it.
Okay, that's a little more specific. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, okay, so I got about maybe about two more questions for you. Is there a okay? Well, share with us a food related memory or experience in a kitchen that has had a significant impact on your life.
I'd say one of the ones that I guess would have impacted me the most. So we try to go, my family, we try to go to Puerto Rico at least once a year. My dad is from there. Both of my parents are from the islands. But yeah, we try to go there once a year, and that the food there just feels like home to me, and I always get excited to like eat it. There's one in particular. It's kind of all Hispanic cultures do it, but it's called different things in each culture. But they're called empanadillas. It's just like a dough, and then there's meat inside, but like it's flavored so. It's so good. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so good. It has all of the Puerto Rican spices that like just feel like home to me. So I'd say like whenever I have empanadillas specifically from there, because yes, I can make them at home and they don't taste exactly the same, but they're still good. But yeah, I'd say like when we go to Puerto Rico, whenever I have like different dishes from there, specifically the empanadillas, those like it's a core memory that like I will like always I'll always cherish.
Okay,
You know
and
what?
including the culture.
My
Hmm.
pronunciation is not as fancy as yours, but is that considered empanadas?
Yes, empanadas. Yes, yes,
Empanadas.
but
That sounded different.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you know. It's kind of the Western version, and when I first had them, oh my God, I love them.
yeah, they're really
I
good.
want to make them myself.
Uh,
You haven't had one in Puerto Rico. If you ever go to Puerto Rico, try them. They're everywhere. All those like street
mm,
vendors will like sell them, and they're so good.
With ground beef or
empanadas.
whatever beef. Oh my
Yeah,
Man.
so good.
Um,
Water.
let me get this last one out the way. Then I'm gonna pass it on over. Okay, so this is about your business. What do you think is the biggest misconception about the food industry, and how do you address it in your work?
Ooh, misconception. Hmm. I'd say that like I feel like people don't take our art seriously. They're like, oh, it's just a cake, and I'm like, it's not. Then it's just a cake. Then you make it at home, like and then like a lot of times, a lot of these people will end up making it at home, and like this is a lot harder than it looks. But for us, we make it look easier because we have more experience. So I'd say like that would be a misconception. A lot of times these people will just think, oh, like it's just baked goods. They don't take that long. I can make it at home. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, then do that. Like I just, for me personally, I don't say that to people, but in my head, I do think that because like it does take a lot more work than it may come off. But yeah, people kind of they they react in that way. And that's for me what I do in my business to share that with others is I share my process. I share all of the behind the scenes. I do share when I have like mess ups because I am human and I feel like that makes it easier to connect with me because I'm an individual just like you are and I make mistakes as well. So yeah, I share that like it is a long process, especially when I have multiple orders a day or like a humongous order, and then on top of that I have a market the next day. It's like it's so much, and I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily share that. They just share like the end product, and then people are like, oh, I could just do that at home, but it's like it's because you don't see the process behind it. So I try to share my process as well, so it kind of helps with the misconception. But obviously, there's still going to be people out there that feel that way.
Well, you are definitely doing something that is takes some talent because I couldn't go in the kitchen and make any of those things that you just that we just seen in there.
You
With even with the instructions. No, I mean, but the way you're doing it right now, it does look easy for you. You know what I mean? So that me, I can't imagine just going in the kitchen and just whipping that together and having it taste good and look right. You know what I mean? Without many fails.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does take
And
time, but I feel like
yeah,
anybody
man.
can
But
do it.
so that I believe in that. Yeah.
You got to have the tools, man. You got everything else. You do have to have the tools to do the job
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Mhm. That is true.
I can appreciate a good person that knows how to bake because I tried to bake, but like I said, my stuff falls down. My sister bought this new stove and I baked the lemon cake, like low cake, and I told
Hmm.
the person and it was rising great. It was beautiful. But the stove has a knock on it where if you knock on it, it turns the light on so you can see
Oh.
without hitting it.
Uh-huh.
Stupid. I knocked on the door. I looked back in there. The cake went.
Oh no.
It's just
That is
yeah,
the worst.
yeah. So even having the right tools for a nice oven and all that stuff, you still gotta know how to use it. That's
Hmm. That
so
is true.
it's crazy. So I like to ask you a little bit about your legacy. What do you see your business legacy being? What are you trying to leave behind? What are you trying to grow? Your family's involved. You're doing this by yourself somewhat.
Mhm.
What do you see the legacy behind your business?
That is a very tough question to be honest. I guess I want people to like know that like yes it is a business and yes like I am making money doing off of like doing what I love doing, but like I'm not doing it really for the money. Like I truly do love what I do, and I truly do love making people's day with just like a dessert. Like it just seems like it's so simple, yet it can really make somebody's day. Like you see people like like at the end of the day, like they take their children for ice cream, and that just makes their day, and it's sweet. It's like so the fact that like I could be a part of somebody's special day and bring everybody together, I feel like that's something that I don't know if I would be a legacy, but like I just want to be known for like the person that like is like truly genuine about like what they do and truly passionate. And I want to be known as the person that just like brings people together through like what they do.
I think you have a lot of what you talked about early on about you know, showing your cakes and the things that you do with love, right? So
Mhm.
when you do that with love, then it's shown through everything that you do in your artistry, as they say, of making cupcakes, making cakes, and doing all
Mhm.
these different designs. you're spreading love. So if you're known for spreading joy and happiness and love in people's lives, you you know, the representation of that, the way that cake looks, or the design of that cake, or the
Mhm.
colors that are associated with what it is. I mean that because you know, you definitely brighten people's lives up with that, and you definitely, you know, make all kind of joyous, happy. Oh, you know, all these impressions and expressions you get from, you know, handing that over. Yes,
Mhm.
you in the oven, you were twirling it around, you were doing all that, creating this image, and then you hand it off to that person. Tell me a little bit about that feeling. Tell me a little bit about what that does to you when you walk away and you get in your car. You're like, "How you doing? I'm doing it." You know. So tell me, like, be conceited about yourself in that way.
hmm Not gonna lie, at first it does make me a little nervous because you never know what their reaction is going to be. And like I said, most time, not even most times, like I'm gonna like to my own horn. Like every single time I give a cake to somebody, they really love the way it turned out, or even like any dessert that I make, they love the way it turned out. Um, so, I mean, a part of me still gets nervous because I hope that like there's no like issue. But most times I'm just like, oh, like it's done. Like they're going to like enjoy it. And then a part of it also is like I love when they send me photos of like them at the party with the cake and like like I said, bringing people together. Like that's like my favorite part. Just seeing the photos. I love when they send them to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a cook. Somebody saying a cook, you know, oh, I love your food. It tastes good. It's the ultimate satisfaction, you
Yeah.
know, that you get when somebody's sending you a picture and they shoving your cake down their
hmm
mouth. Like, you know, to, to my little experience, I never liked being the front person. So I had a restaurant, so I didn't like when people would eat the food. I would just hide. I would hide like, oh my God, are they really gonna eat that? So
hmm
I just kind of, and when you spreading that joy through cakes and, you know, all of the things that you do, man, that's creating a lot of happiness out there, especially at a wedding.
Yeah.
You can't screw up a wedding cake for sure.
Yeah. That's most nerve wracking too, though. Like, that is so nerve wracking, but it is definitely like one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I get those orders, I'm like, a wedding cake, and I like get so scared, but people end up loving it after, so that makes me like
That's great.
forget you.
You gotta have confidence too. You got confidence in what you're doing, and you went to school for, you
hmm
know, doing what you're doing. You educated yourself behind it, so it's not like you don't know anything about it. But one of the other questions that I have for you is regarding, you know, your family and, you know, that dynamic that brings it. Can you say a little bit about your support system, a little bit about that support you're getting, and, you know, how do you think this video is going to be out there for your family to see and everything? And I just wonder how you put them in, you know, in that support system.
Yeah, so my parents in particular, like I said, they've helped me so much, and they definitely push me a lot harder. They tell me when I'm wrong. They put me in my place. They always give me new ideas when it comes to my business. And like I said, they always tell me when I'm wrong. And I truly do appreciate that because I know I'm not always right. And I know I can always be more efficient in certain ways. So I really do appreciate my parents for like everything that they do for me, for like staying up with me very late to like help me package my cookies for my markets, to staying up. Like I know they want to go to bed. I know they want to go to bed after my market, especially if they end at like 10 something and I don't get back until like 11:30. They come and they help me pack up everything so I don't get home that late. Yeah, they help me so much, and I'm truly grateful for them.
Thank you for that. I think that was great. You know, honoring them, you know, and supporting you is a big part of, you know, entrepreneur spirit, right? That keeps your spirit going. That keeps you you going and making you, um, a little bit more confident about
Yeah.
what you're doing. I like to give you this opportunity to um, talk about your business. Some of the things that maybe we didn't say and ask questions about that maybe you want to get out to the public about your business. Please take a moment to do all of that, and then I have another question after
Yeah. So, like I said, as of right now, my business is home based, but that is not my goal. Obviously, I love being home based because I mean I'm in the comfort of my own home. Nobody's telling me what to do. It's my own business. But I truly like my next goal is to get a trailer. I absolutely want to get a trailer so bad. Not only because it makes me look more professional, but I'm able to um, I guess like gain more exposure throughout Temecula Valley and Marina Valley, just within this area, because people know who I am, but not everybody knows who I am. So I feel like if I have a trailer and I'm doing markets within my trailer, I'll definitely get more exposure, especially if I decorate it all pretty and it's branded, con amor. I think that that will turn out very well. But yeah, that's my next goal. I wanted to get it by the end of this year, but school said otherwise. So I do have one more semester. So after my next semester, probably summertime, I'll have the trailer. And then I eventually want to possibly have a brick and mortar. But I feel like my first goal is the trailer because yeah, I've always wanted one. I think it's so cute, and you don't see them often, especially bakery ones. Like I've never seen a bakery trailer around here at all. I've seen coffee ones, but like nothing related to like cupcakes and like mini like cakes. Like no. So I think that would be like cute, and then I can start doing. I'm also thinking about doing classes, like decorating classes around the area because I've gotten a good amount of people asking me about like if I do any like private classes for decorating cakes because people want to learn how to do it themselves, especially like my style of decorating. So that is something I do want to do within the near future as well. But yeah, it's not going to only be just like me baking and selling my desserts. It's also going to be like doing courses and helping people with their decorating. And I also want to get into like consulting and stuff because I want to help others. But yeah, that's like my goal for my business. Originally, it was going to be just selling my stuff, which I absolutely love doing, but I feel as though I could definitely expand in different avenues and still enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, you've got plans, and and I like the spirit because you're stepping up the game along the way as far as the things that you want to do. Just having your own trailer, and having the ability to do all that. I mean, I see a lot of food trucks and different things out there, and it's getting bigger. They got their own events that they're putting on. Matter of fact,
Mhm.
there's a big one coming up. So I'm proud of you. I'm really proud that you're out there. You're showing some. This is. I guess this is my question, and I didn't ask you before, but talk a little bit about um, the youth, and people that are around your age that want to start businesses and want to do things to get their products out there or their ideas out there. What advice that you can give them, and talk a little bit about how you see them taking advantage of their opportunities.
Yeah, so I'd say like when I first started off, like I said earlier, people would gatekeep stuff from me, and I feel like that's I personally don't like it. I feel like everybody has like room for growth, and if you're helping out somebody, I feel like that should make you feel good. But not everybody feels the same way I do. Recently, because I have been getting a good amount like of followers and stuff, I've gotten a lot of messages asking me like how I started and like how did I get to where I am and like if I have any advice. And I normally tell them just to don't do too much. Like put out your best product that you feel the most you're like the most confidence in. And also to what I did personally when I first started off is I actually gave it my products out for free to people I thought deserved it. I gave it to like police stations, I gave it to hospitals. Like I said, just to people I feel like deserved it while also exposing my business. And um, ever since then, I've gotten like the Merida Police Department. They've helped me so much in the beginning. I got a lot of my following specifically from them. I got a lot of orders from officers. I did a wedding for an officer, two officers actually. Like you never know where it can take you, but I truly feel that when people are first starting off, people need to know who you are and they need to try your product. So in the end, I mean, in the beginning, you're not going to make as much money, but it's all about exposing your business to others. So I recommend people like give their stuff to like firefighters and police officers and stuff because you never know where that could take you.
Good. What a good idea, and a lot of people can learn from that. Sometimes it ain't always about money. It's about creating opportunities for yourself, right? For your
Hmm.
business and putting it out there and giving that chance for it to work itself.
Exactly.
You put a good cake out there, it works yourself. You ain't gotta do nothing. People say, "Oh man, that tastes good. Where do you get that from, man?" There it goes. It's off and running on its own. So let me have this other question for you about your mental health, right? How do you how do you deal with all of these things? You got the business, you got the school, you got your parents, you got your friends,
Mhm.
you got all this other stuff going on. You got to pay the bills, you got to manage what you're getting in the cake. What do you do with that mental health? Do you just go bang your head against the wall, or do I know you talked about dancing, but how does the mental health play in your life?
Um, I'd say I definitely am still working on it. Because I do like to overload myself. I always like to be doing something. And in the end, I do stress myself out, I'm not gonna lie. But then after the fact, I feel like, man, I did that. Like I took the reward that I feel like after the fact. So it's like I continuously do it, even though I don't like it, knowing that I'm going to love the end. But I don't know. I when I have the chance, like I said earlier, I try not to do much. I try to like take a chill pill and relax, hang out with my family. We'll go out once in a while when my schedule like aligns with them. And then also, like I said, just like dancing and listening to music has really helped me. I always have on my headphones. Always like I don't really talk to people at school. I have on my headphones. I go to my class, take them off, do what I have to do, and then I leave and put on my headphones. It just like helps me relax. Yeah, I feel like music has definitely helped me a lot. And then also I work out. That helps as well, just to like release like the stress and everything. But yeah.
Who are you listening to when you got that music on?
Ooh, I listen to a variety of things. I just no country. No country or like what's it called? Metal, like hard metal. I don't listen to that. But like literally everything else. I listen to like jazz, I listen to reggaeton, Spanish music. I listen to hip hop. I listen to Afro beats music. I love Afro beats music. Like I told you guys, my mom is from Bahamas, so that's like all they like listen to over there. And we go over there also like, once a year, and that's like my favorite part of like being there, other than seeing family. Just listening to the music. So I like that I can like I guess continue listening to it over here, and it makes me feel like at peace and at home. But yeah, Afrobeats is definitely like on top for me.
Afro beats.
Yes,
Like you
Afro.
said
Like
earlier when you were talking about mental health, I was thinking you like pain for reward. So I don't all this pain. Give me all this stuff. I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. And then you get
yes,
the reward. You be like, oh yeah, you
yes,
know.
exactly. I complain. You can talk to my mom. My mom is like, "Oh my god, why do you do this to yourself?" And I'm like, "I don't know," but then I continue to do it, and it's like I can't help myself. So they all learn. But my mom recently did tell me that I need to like try and take 1 week off every month just for myself, or not even a week off, but like at least take like 2 orders because sometimes I have a good like 14 orders a week on top of school and homework, and it's too much. So she's right. I should take a week to maybe like 3 orders max, and that's it. So I'm gonna start doing that in November. That will definitely help with my mental health.
Yeah, but it's not gonna help with that trailer you trying to get, girl.
No,
You trying Got to get that trailer. I know the cost of them trailers. You're gonna have to put some work
Yes.
in, make sure
Man.
you're getting what you need for that. And
Yes, I actually I got into this program for the Riverside. I forgot it's like Riverside Business or something like that. I don't remember the name, but it's for like food businesses around. And you have to fill out an application. If you're accepted, you have a course for a bit. It's like a couple months. And in the end, if you finish everything, they will give you a $3,000 grant. And I got accepted into that, and it starts Wednesday. So I'm like, I'm gonna take the 3,000. And then also you're just learning in the process, like you're learning different aspects of business and how to elevate your business. So I was like, I think that's a good opportunity.
yeah, pass that on. Pass that on to us. And if you can send that kind of link, we can. There's other people that we run across that need that as well as ourselves, to tell you the truth. But this is part of the KF&JF podcast goal, is to create the networking part of
Mhm.
this. It's like all of those things that you're talking about. So when you have ideas, if you have opportunity, like you were talking about, people hold on to stuff and they feel like they don't want to share, and that's
Yeah.
part of what we're trying to kick in the butt, sort of thing. Like, no, we need to get our community back into spending money with each other, understanding each other, and how to get generational wealth. So that's a big part of what we want to do. I'm gonna kind of end with this question here. Talk a little. What was your idea about podcasts when you came on? What were one of the things that you were nervous about, or that you thought about when you started the process of coming on to the podcast? Explain that a little bit, because we want to make sure that we let people know that sometimes it's hard, and sometimes that's why we've been on this conversation for a while, and that is to make you comfortable, right? Is to
Mhm.
make you feel, that this is like talking to family or friends. So explain a little bit about what you went through in your decision process and coming on the podcast.
Yeah, so at first I was definitely nervous. I don't really, I know as a business owner you're supposed to, like, every time you have the chance you need to talk about your business, you need to talk, like, but for me I'm like kind of an extrovert, but I feel like I'm more of an introvert. I can be an extrovert when I want to be, and I guess it depends on who I'm around as well. But I don't like talking about myself that much, not gonna lie. But with my business, obviously, I have to like put myself out there. So I feel like with this, I was definitely nervous, and like I didn't know exactly what the questions were going to be. So I also have a hard time. I like low-key stutter. You guys probably have noticed. I like to jumble up my words. So that was another thing I was nervous about. I was hoping that didn't happen as much, which it kind of did, but it's okay. But yeah, it was mostly that. But you guys made me feel very comfortable. I feel like I feel a lot more comfortable now than when I first came in here.
Well,
Well,
great. I
thank you.
appreciate that. That's our job, and we thank you so much.